Islanders lead the Buffalo Sabres 3-2, and that's the way the score looks. The Islanders ahead at the end of this game. Then the Stanley Cup Final will begin on Tuesday night, and Pat Quinn's Philadelphia Flyers have to be ready for that. Pat, you're in the enviable position of being able to watch both of your potential opponents here tonight. How important is it that your players are doing the same, that they're getting a rest?
Well, I think, I'm sure they're all sitting at home watching it, but I like the rest, 2 or 3 days. I really wish we could have started Sunday. The 7 games last time, I believe, hurt us, and I think at this stage in the season, when you've gone 9 months, the players just want to play. They want to get on with it and see if they can get us close and bring that cup home.
Now, does that indicate you would prefer to play the Islanders and start Tuesday?
No, it really didn't matter. Of course, just the way it happened. All I really wanted, regardless, we could have gone 7-2 as far as that's concerned. All I wanted was only a 3, possibly 4-day rest at most.
We talk about a couple of your players who performed so well in the series against Minnesota. Bill Barber, with all those goals to tie a record. And Bob Daly, as a former defenseman yourself, you must have many words of praise for the way he's performed.
Yes, Billy was getting real good scoring opportunities, as Bill always does. Early in the playoffs, he just didn't seem to be capitalizing on them, whether he missed a shot or whether the goaltender made good saves. In this particular series, they were going in, and he was maybe a little more patient and maybe a little more selective with his shots. He scored some excellent goals and well-placed shooting by him. But all through the series, not this series, all through the whole playoffs, he's been a real sound player for us and been terrific. Big Bob, I don't know, he just seems to be responding. It's playoff time, and you know, one of the knocks Bob's apparently always been confronted with was in and out type of performances. But geez, if he ever played in the regular season consistently like he does in the playoffs, boy, he'd be that defenseman award every year.
I have to ask you, after watching most of the games between the Flyers and the North Stars, whether you tried to keep people out of the penalty box, or whether you felt that you were killing off the penalties so well that they didn't bother you quite as much.
No, we get into it again. We certainly are a team that are watched. I mean, just by the nature of our history, we're a team that we're watched, and we have paid attention about not taking the over physical type penalties, because we felt like those are the things that would be calling on us. And certainly the series was not physical by any. In fact, they out-hit us in 2 of the 5 games. But we seem to, because maybe we were being watched, we seem to draw every other type of penalty, and we certainly don't want to take them. This time of the year, you can't afford, I don't care who you're playing, and that was an excellent power play. You can't afford to play a third of the game and more shorthanded. It just doesn't make any sense. And we didn't take them intentionally, obviously, and it's just incredible the job that was done by the 11 or 12 guys that participated in the penalty killing, and we certainly don't want to do it next series.
Apart from the fact that this has been entertaining hockey, as I'm sure you'll agree, what are your comments on what you've seen so far?
Well, I believe the Islanders in the first period looked a little bit tight. Maybe they were believing some of the bugaboo about them not being able to come through on the big ones and that sort of thing. In the second period, boy, they said, heck, we're not going to win unless we take it to them, and they started to take it to them. They were tough in the corners. They started to break wide on the defense and just overpower. The big wingers overpowered their defensemen to toss it back in the slot for 2 goals. And defensively, they were really sound. They gave up a couple of good chances, but Smith was equal to the task, and they deserved to win that second period.
You won the season series against Buffalo. You lost it against the Islanders. Does that have any thinking in your approach to the final in terms of who you might like to play?
I think we were 2-2 with the Islanders, but we did beat
Lost
Buffalo.
At home, didn't you, twice to them?
No, we won the first opening game of the season there. Anyway, they're 2 different styles of club. Both are, obviously, they don't go this far unless they're dangerous, and Buffalo had an outstanding season. The Islanders are more like us. They'll grind it out in the corners. They play a good, strong game. The other team, Buffalo, is more freewheeling when they have the puck, very good defensively because they take away the middle on you defensively, but a different style of club completely. It doesn't matter who we play. I believe we have a club that really can skate and hit, and that's what I really want out of it. And if we play the Islanders, we hope we hit and hit more than them, but also skate more than they do. We need to take advantage of, I believe, a lack of speed in certain areas they have.
Because they're so different, does it offer you a problem in terms of preparing for the final?
I don't think so. I believe that at this time of year, you have 2 or 3 ways that you play clubs because you've had to adjust during the season and get used to them. We've played 3 skating clubs, so it might be a tougher adjustment to go to a club that's more static like the Islanders are. But I really don't believe that we'll have too much problem adjusting. It'll be a heck of a series, whoever we play.
I'm talking about two key players for Philadelphia against Minnesota, and in earlier playoff series, Barber and Daly. I think we should talk about the goaltending that Phil Muir gave you. There was a thought that Philadelphia goaltending might be a little bit suspect in the playoffs, and there was the obvious comment that how do you finish first and go 35 games without a loss, without strong goaltending? Now it's there for all to see.
Well, it really was, but we'd had it all year long. In fact, our goaltending was the reason why we got off to the good start and why we gained so much self-confidence. And going into the playoffs, it was really decisions by the seat of the pants. I decided to go with Pete against the Rangers because he was playing solid and sound. Not that Phil wasn't, but it was just, as I say, I was going to stick with him. Pete had an off game the first game, and I wanted to get all the way along. I wanted to get Phil back in. I brought him in, and he was just outstanding, especially in those shorthanded situations. And I'm just happy. I think two goaltenders are better than one.
I don't think anybody would disagree. Pat, we're going to look forward to watching the Flyers in the Stanley Cup final, and we'll look forward to watching who it's going to be against you in this third period and perhaps in the seventh and deciding game. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Now to Dan Kelly with Gary Dornhofer.
Okay, Dave, the New York Islanders 3, the Buffalo Sabres 2. Islanders in the second period scoring 2 goals to take the lead. It was Mike Bossy scoring after only 31 seconds of the second period to tie the game. And then Lorimer with the go-ahead goal at 11-11. Shots on goal in the second period. Islanders had 10, and the Buffalo Sabres had 9. Will we be heading for Philadelphia and an opening game of the Stanley Cup final on Tuesday night? Here's Lorimer, the man who got the go-ahead goal in that second period. A native of Toronto, played college hockey at Michigan Tech, a 10th round draft choice in '73, and here he becomes a big goal scorer.
Well, we talked about the play, the speed of Bourne there. He gets the shot on net. Now Goring hustles into the corner. You notice here, you can't see Lorimer coming in from the pictures. He came from his position back on defense, had the opportunity to penetrate, he did. As soon as he got a hold of it, he let that wrist shot go. So I'm sure the Islanders are thinking right now, 20 minutes from Broadway.
Broad Street.
Broad Street, yeah, that's...
You used to be a member of that team, and you forget the street that the Spectrum's located on?
I've been away too long. But you know, the Sabres now, they're going to have to start taking some chances and get in there and really have a period like they've never had before.
3-2 Islanders. Here we go with period 3 as Richie Dunn fired it into the Islander zone. Big Gilly shoots it back out. And Height, number 24, back for Buffalo. Cleared it over on the boards. They shoot it back around on the boards for Height. Number 24, Height, to Van Buxmeer, who's operating as a forward as he has in the last couple of games much of the time. Van Buxmeer, number 5, into the corner. For Perreault in front to Lindy Ruff. Ruff trying to get turned around. He's tied up, and there'll be a penalty here to the Islanders. And Buffalo will have a big power play opportunity from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, Stanley Cup 80.
Sun's coming up, they're fighting today, trolling or cruising, catching your way. Mercury, that's how the world goes fishing.
Mercury small fishing engine, 9 easy-running outboards plus 3 electric thrusters, featuring the new generation Mercs, 3.6, 18, and 25. That's fish power, 3.6 to 40 horsepower.
Mercury, that's how the world goes fishing.
After only 37 seconds, Dennis Potvin gets a hooking penalty.
Well, that's Potvin's 3rd penalty of the evening. And down...
That's another play with Lorimer upending the Buffalo.
But now's the time for a guy like Martin or Gare to get something going here.
Sabres on the power play and trailing 3-2. Derek Smith, number 19, to Dunn. Broken up, Morrow can't clear it. Now Gare for the Sabres. Danny Gare, number 18, drops it to Dunn, over to Smith. Derek Smith into Gare, off his skate, and poked out by Bourne to center ice. Sabres with the man advantage as they drop it back to Dunn, number 3, the native of Boston. Richie Dunn to Perreault. Here is Gilbert Perreault. Perot drops it to Smith. Checked by Goring as he lost his balance. Goring trying to get away from John, who tied him up. And then Sauvé cleared it. And Derek Smith takes over. Smith, tied up by Goring, has to circle back to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld to Smith. Now to Schoenfeld. 50 seconds left in the penalty. Schoenfeld in on left wing, but Lindy Ruff was in ahead of the play. Offside.
Now, one thing the Sabres are having trouble now is getting it across that blue line, but just prior to that, Goring broke away. It's a one-on-one situation. You notice that Richie Dunn has the angle on him, just gets in front of him. Now, he's not even worrying about the puck. Leave it alone. Make sure he has the man. Good play. Good defensive play there by Dunn. And
Dunn
there's
is quite a story. Not drafted, and Scotty Bowman says he and Schoenfeld just maybe the best defenseman on his hockey club, a team that won the Vezina Trophy.
You must have been reading my thoughts, Dan. I was just going to mention that. And credit,
great minds think alike,
that's
sir.
right. Credit to Richie Dunn, how he has improved his game behind the blue line. Very solid defenseman.
Here is Bourne, number 14. Islanders still short-handed. Potvin with 41 seconds left in his penalty. Now Sealing leaving it for Van Buxmeer. John Van Buxmeer fires one into the Islander zone. Lorimer back to the net. Taken out of the play by Ruff. Here's McKechnie. Back to Schoenfeld. To McKechnie. Lorimer tying him up, and Bourne cleared it. Schoenfeld held it in. Lorimer again. This time he hit McKechnie with it. Now McKechnie in the corner. Gets it back to the goal. McKechnie, number 8. Good play to Van Buxmeer. Couldn't get the shot away. Back to McKechnie. To Van Buxmeer. Over to Schoenfeld. Potvin's back on the shot. Rebound and Sealing shot. Stopped at the defense. And here is Dennis Potvin. And there goes Lindy Ruff and Billy Smith, the goaltender. Smith must have done something to Ruff because Ruff just headed back and went at Billy Smith. And Ruff apparently has been cut.
Well, we didn't see the play, Dan, that happened in front of the net. You notice that Ruff is holding the hand over his eye, but he dropped his stick and his gloves and he went right after Smith. And it'll be a very interesting call that we're going to see. And Ruff, he's upset.
Now Schoenfeld trying to get it. The Islander goaltender, Smith. I must say I didn't see what Smith did. He must have done something because first Ruff went after Smith and now Schoenfeld tried to get at the Islander goaltender.
Smith looking very innocent, standing in his crease there. Schoenfeld's really upset. There's Ruff. Well, let's have a look to see if we can see what happens here. There's the action in front of the net. There's one slash. That didn't do it in the eye. Smith battling him all the way. Oh, there it is. As he skated by, Smith stuck his stick out and Ruff goes after him. And there's no way, I'm sure the referee didn't see that initial contact.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
For every beautiful lawn, there's a garage full of equipment. Something to mow it, to fertilize it, to clean up clippings, to rake up leaves. Introducing the Electro-Mulch from Canadian General Electric. It mulches as it mows, fertilizing your lawn with its own tiny clippings. No raking, no bagging, no cleanup. The work-saving Electro-Mulch. One machine for a beautiful, healthy lawn.
Well, we've had penalties. penalties called. Lindy Ruff has received a double minor, one for charging, one for roughing. Billy Smith, the goaltender, just a one minor for roughing at 2:47.
Well, you see Andy Van Helm trying to explain the penalties. Scotty Bowman looks on. He had made the accusation against Billy Smith back in Buffalo. Said that if Smith continued to swing his stick around, that the Sabres would take action. It happened just a few moments ago. There's the Islanders bench looking on.
And associate coach Roger Nielsen of the Sabres was complaining about the same type of play that Smith just made just prior to the game here this evening.
Good takeout there by Langevin. Now as he skates by, he gets the stick right alongside the face. Was it intentional or did he run into the stick? That's the big question.
So a double minor penalty to Lindy Ruff, just a single minor to Smith. He doesn't get called for the original infraction, which you said Van Helleman probably didn't see, and I'm sure he didn't.
No, it happened so quickly as Ruff was skating out, and you know, you really can't tell from that replay if it was an intentional against Lindy Ruff as he skated by. You notice that little piece sticking out. Billy Smith tapes the knob of his stick about 3 inches below the top, and there's that little piece sticking out. There you see it, just to the right of the camera. There's a good look at it.
Ever give you a jab with that in your days of molesting goaltenders around goal creases?
I was a little smarter. I stayed away from him.
Went on the other side. So a double minor against Ruff. That penalty will be served by McClanahan. Ruff is retired to the dressing room for repairs. Here's Rick Sealing into the Islander zone. Broken up by Ken Morrow. Morrow, number 6. He's checked, and Schoenfeld takes over for the Sabres. Jim Schoenfeld. To Perreault. Gilbert Perreault. Got it into the zone, but Lean cleared it back out. Sealing now for Height. Each team a man short. Schoenfeld gets away from Merritt. Schoenfeld flips it into Rick Sealing. Sealing to Perreault, but Lean is there to intercept. Gord Lane had it poked away. Morrow picks it up.
Hey, talking to Scotty Bowman, you wondered how many healthy players the Sabres would have. Danny Gare is one of them, really nursing a tender ankle. Rick Sealing, the bad shoulder, all those nagging injuries gradually catch up. You know, this is the time of the year. There's no way you're going to miss a game. You're going to get in there and tape and guts. Is that what they call it?
And the Sabres are already without Craig Ramsey, who's out with a broken wrist for the rest of the playoffs. Rick Dudley couldn't play tonight because of a bad neck. Here are the Islanders leading 3-2, clearing it into the Buffalo zone. Van Boxmeer headmanning it on left wing for Mongrain. His long shot off the stick of Billy Smith. Now Gare into the corner. He's tied up, and Lane comes up with the puck. Lane to Howitt. Harry Howitt, number 8. Van Boxmeer takes him out of the play, and here's Gare. Gare trying to get it on left wing to Dunn. Cleared away by Morrow, and Van Boxmeer has to circle back. 35 seconds left in the Billy Smith penalty, which Langevin is serving, and then the Islanders will have the man advantage. Here's Schoenfeld. Now Van Boxmeer trying to center it, and Persson checked him out of the play. Gare and Henning to the corner. Dennis Potvin comes up with it. Potvin, the Islander captain. Going to work it into Trottier on right wing. Wrist shot, pad save by Billy Smith, or at least by Sobe. And then he went down and grabbed it and held on.
Well, one of the things that the Islanders have done so well, and they certainly talked about that, is eliminating the man right from the play. You notice that check by Gary Howitt, taking the man right strong against the boards, pinning him there. Now, how about this for a takeout? Danny Gare, very solid. That's all it is. Take the man out. Your partner comes in and takes the puck away. Good play. but both teams have been doing it.
Now just 10 seconds left in the Islander penalty. A stick had been stuck down at the end of the rink in the glass, so the linesman Hodges retrieves that.
That was Danny Garrett on the takeout by Gary Howitt.
If the Islanders win, they move into the Stanley Cup final. If the Sabres win, they would force a 7th game in Buffalo on Tuesday night. Face-off in the Sabres zone, and here's Savard, number 12. Savard and loose the Sabre forwards. They drop it back. Schoenfeld can't get it. Here's Bossy. Schoenfeld tied him up. Now Bossy to Trottier. Trottier just dumped it in behind the net. Islanders are at full strength. Buffalo still short-handed, so Schoenfeld slaps it off the boards down the ice. Minute 45 in the second penalty to Lindy Ruff for that skirmish with Billy Smith, the Islander goaltender. Persson for New York. To Gillies. To Trottier. Height breaks it up, and Schoenfeld cleared it to center. Persson to Potvin. To Bossy. Number 22, Mike Bossy, drills it into the Buffalo zone. Schoenfeld beaten to the puck by Potvin, cleared it on the boards, but Height intercepts. Height for the Sabres, able to clear it the length of the ice. Minute 7 left in the penalty. Persson to Dennis Potvin. To Goring. Goring leaves it for Gillies, just out of his reach. Gillies then tied up. Here's Schoenfeld to Dunn, number 3. Richie Dunn, lead pass for Luce. All the way down into the Islander zone. Smith clearing it around in the boards. Here's Tonelli. 40 seconds left in the Lindy Ruff penalty to Buffalo. Persson to Potvin. Now Goring to Nystrom. He dumped it in. Sauvé cleared it on the boards. Rick Sealing tied up on the play. Now able to clear it in. Mongrain, number 25, shoots it away for Buffalo. 20 seconds left in the Sabres penalty. Persson to Tonelli. Tonelli taken out of the play by Mongrain and Dunn cleared it to center. Nystrom, number 23 for the Islanders. Book checked by Mongrain. Morrow is there to cover up. Now Dunn losing it to Nystrom. Nystrom back to Tonelli. Tonelli cutting in, couldn't get the shot away. Sabres are back at full strength. They've killed it out. Merrick behind the net. And Mike Ramsey cleared it away from him. Still loose in the corner. Merrick for New York to Nystrom. Shoots wide. Just wide. Lane for the Islanders. Into the corner for Merrick to Nystrom. Fanned on the shot. And then Nystrom is knocked down. Now Merrick's shot goes wide. Here's Lane to Tonelli. Tonelli back to the net. Knocked down on the play. Loose puck comes to Lane, and that shot deflects wide. Merrick and Sealing to the corner. Merrick trying to center. Dunn for the Sabres. Cleared it away. Now it is Buffalo in their own zone. McClanahan spun around as the Islanders forecheck. That's Howitt. Gary Howitt trying to flip it in front. Dead. Nystrom up. Shot, and he panned on it, and Mongrain has it for Buffalo. He cleared one to center. Morrow for the Islanders to Howitt. Howitt trying to cut in. Schoenfeld tied him up, and Gare has it for the Sabres. Gare checked by Sutter. Sutter in the corner for New York. Trying to center. Sauvé grabs the puck and held on. And the Islander forechecking has been relentless here in the third period. And some pushing and shoving in behind the Buffalo goal.
Lindy Ruff is coming out on the ice right now, so he seems to be all right.
This is Stanley Cup 80 from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Nothing like a Coke.
Coke adds life. Coca-Cola adds life.
there's Lindy Ruff right in the middle of your screen. He seems to be all right, back sitting on the bench, but the Islanders have certainly taken over in the last 5 minutes here with their relentless forechecking and good corner work.
Here's Lorimer at the point. His shot blocked at the defense, and Schoenfeld will block the shot from down on both knees to make sure no Islander could get to it. Boy, there's a guy that comes to play in the National Hockey League every night.
You have to respect him. You know, it's easy to play in front of your own folks, to be aggressive, to do everything at home, but take that same person, put him on the road where it's a little tougher, and see what he can do. Schoenfeld shows that he plays that type of game both at home and on the road.
You see Schoenfeld and Sauvé ready for a face-off between Goring and Perreault. It's to the left of the Buffalo goal. 11:45 left in regulation time. Islanders with a 3-2 lead. Schoenfeld clearing one off the boards and down into the Islanders zone. They rule the Islanders could have played it, so there's no icing. That's Lorimer. Feeding it to Sutter, broken up. Martin had a chance, lost it. Now Perreault dropping one back. It comes outside the line, and Schoenfeld has it at center to Playfair. Larry Playfair flipping one in. Now Lorimer flips one on the boards. It hit Perreault. Here is Perreault. Shoots from a sharp angle. Stick save by Smith. Now Martin in the corner. Richard Martin's backhander just wide in the short side. Hot back of the net. Tied up by Perreault. Now Lorimer to Dwayne Sutter. And he shot at the center. Mike Ramsey drops it back to Playfair. Islanders leading 3-2. Here's Martin. Dropping one back into the zone. Sauvé has to play it. Out for Ramsey. Now lead pass to Gare. He's tied up by Trottier, and Langevin shoots it into the Buffalo zone. Sabres could have played it, so there's no icing. Dunn to Ramsey. Back to Dunn. To McKechnie. To Derek Smith, intercepted by Langevin. He handed it right to McKechnie. McKechnie, number 8, long shot, well wide of the Islander goal. Bourne for New York. To Pearson. Now to Bossy. Bossy trying to set up Trottier, but Ramsey, the young Sabre defenseman, cleared it. Bourne tied up by McKechnie. Over comes Ramsey. Puck still loose on the board. Ramsey then flips it, and Pearson has it for the Islanders. To Bossy. Fires one into the Buffalo zone. Bounced off the boards in a crazy manner right out in front of the net. Back comes Gare. Checked on the play by Merritt. His pass to Bossy, who dumps it into the Buffalo zone. 9:43 left in regulation time. Here's Sealing for Buffalo. Long shot. That gave Smith trouble. And Morrow comes up with a rebound. Trying to set up Nystrom, but Schoenfeld intercepts. Mongrain lost it. Here's Tonelli. Trying to break through. Height knocked it down. Now a hand pass batted from one Islander player to another causes a stoppage in play. And a face-off in the Buffalo zone. With the score, New York Islanders 3, Buffalo 2. This is Stanley Cup 80.
Mustang! Here it comes, Canada's great-selling sporty little car. And see how it runs. Mustang! The excitement begins the moment you get behind the wheel. Mustang, a real thoroughbred on the open road. Mustang! Fun to drive, great fuel economy, reasonably priced. Mustang! If you're ready for a new scene, you don't have to climb a mountain. Just see your Ford dealer.
There you see the time clock, 9:23 left in regulation time. Islanders leading Buffalo 3-2.
Well, this is a time, Dan, when you really can't worry about line matchups, especially from the Sabres' point of view. They have to keep fresh troops out there, change maybe every 30 seconds, but really get in there and get some good scoring changes. They haven't had any in the last 7 minutes.
Here's Schoenfeld for the Sabres to Height. Now Mongrain trying to flip it in. Nystrom intercepting. Bob Nystrom for New York. Centers one to Merrick. He's checked by Sealing, and Mongrain then shot it to center. Taking over is Ken Morrow. He gave it to Merrick, back to Morrow. Morrow, upended as he came out of the zone. Height for Buffalo. Feeds it in on left wing for Ruff. Morrow checks Ruff. Ruff gets it back again on the boards. Morrow ties him up and held Ruff on the puck against the boards.
Well,
Face-off will be in the Islander zone.
Lindy Ruff has certainly been a very competitive player for the Sabres. Not expected to play much, but when Craig Ramsey had the broken wrist, he stepped in there, gives him a little more muscle up in front, and you notice he wasn't afraid to get in front of the net, and also we're working very hard in the corners.
A second-round draft pick of the Sabres in the amateur draft this past year, a defenseman, but employed by Scotty Bowman as a forward many times this season, including here in the playoffs.
Well, that line has been very effective, you know, along with Van Boxmeer and Ruff. It gives Perreault 2 shifts out of every 4, and he's had a lot of ice time tonight.
Here are the Sabres' big guns, Perreault, Martin, and Gare, all up front on the forward line. But Nystrom breaks out of there. He and Gilly. In on Van Boxmeer to Gillies. Shoot! Sauvé just got a piece of it. Oh, Gillies with a big chance, and I think Sauvé just got a piece of it.
Well, it was a perfect 2-on-1 break with Nystrom and Gillies. Nystrom fed Gillies at the right time. Van Boxmeer still hasn't turned around. He can't turn around. There is the good pass. It's too bad that Gillies couldn't have cut into the center of the ice area a little more. And I don't know if he just shot wide or if Sauvé did get part of it, but what an opportunity to cut into the middle, had a better chance of scoring.
Van Boxmeer with 8:35 left in regulation time to Dunn. Sabres trail 3-2. Dunn fires it in. Hot pass for the Islanders. Getting away from Perreault. Now to Goring. He directs it into the Buffalo zone, and Van Boxmeer back for the Sabres. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Here's Gillies. The Sutter, backhander, Sauvé to save. They poked away at it, they score! Wayne Sutter! And the Islanders have the lead 4-2.
And again, it's a good, strong forechecking. You hear the response from the crowd. Instant victory. There's Sutter's reaction. He's excited about the whole thing. He came to the Islanders halfway through the season. There's the forechecking and the giveaway by Van Boxmeer. Plugging the front of the net. They just keep going. Goring takes a swing at it. Sutter keeps jamming away. Sauvé unable to cover up. Defenseman unable to take Sutter out of the play.
Wayne Sutter, the Islanders' #1 draft choice, pays off handsomely.
Well, what a thrill for him. But there he kept plugging away. No defenseman around to take Sutter out of the way, and he finally jams it over the goal line, and that could be it, Mr. Kelly.
4-2 Islanders. Sutter's second goal of the playoffs. One of 3 Sutter brothers from Viking, Alberta, playing in the NHL, and he scored a big one here. Sabres on the attack, but Lorimer trying to move it out on right wing. Where's one to center? Trottier going in after it. Sealing couldn't clear it. Now Trottier gets it to Howard. Quick shot. Sauvé makes an arm save. Playfair for the Sabres. Back to Mike Ramsey. He's checked in the play, and around on the boards comes Playfair to Sealing. Dennis Potvin for the Islanders in his own zone. The number 11, Myrick. Myrick's long shot. Sauvé giving it to Playfair. He played it off the boards, but the Islanders' Langevin knocked it down at center. Here's Tonelli into Myrick on left wing. Shoots one. Sauvé a save on the short side. Islanders cleared. Langevin held it in. His shot went wide. Here's Nystrom for New York. To Tonelli back of the net. And Playfair has it for Buffalo. Nystrom breaks that up. Nystrom into Tonelli. John Tonelli and Ramsey go to the corner. Myrick back of the net. Now it comes to Nystrom. Behind the goal for Myrick. Myrick out in front. Backhander. Stick save by Sauvé. Another save by Sauvé on Wayne Myrick.
Well, it's just good, solid, hard work by the Islanders.
Stanley Cup 80 will continue in just a moment.
All of these oils are good oils. All of them meet or exceed SE standards. We think our oil is better. Here's why. In an industry standard test, ours was the only one of these oils that had no permanent viscosity breakdown, no permanent thinning out at all.
Our oil, new Castrol GTX 10W30. In the final analysis, it doesn't break down.
That last scoring play, Dwayne Sutter from Goring and Gillies at 11:50 of the third period.
Well, you notice here that Goring fights for it, nobody around. Sutter has an easy time of it, but they're just out-muscling the Sabres now, the Islanders are, in every department in that offensive zone.
Here's Mongrain of the long shot wide of the Islander goal. Gillies trying to clear it. Richie Dunn for Buffalo. His shot well wide of the target. Mongrain fired it in. Now Perreault in the corner. Broken up by the Islanders. Dunn holding it in. Here's Dunn into Perreault. Perreault jammed out of the play by Lane. Mongrain for Buffalo with Goring on the boards. Puck comes to Sutter, who clears it to center. Schoenfeld tied him up. Sutter gets loose. Sutter trying to set up Gillies, and he was upended. And back comes Lindy Ruff for Buffalo. Goring checked him. Now Ruff trying to clear it in. Morrow knocked it down. Here's Ruff again to Schoenfeld. His long shot handled by Smith, and Morrow takes over. Played it down into the Sabre zone. 5.5 minutes left in regulation time. 4-2 Islanders. Then Boxmeer to Sealing, intercepted by Trottier. Now Bossy to Bourne. And Ben Boxmeer comes back for the Sabres. Then Boxmeer to Sealing. He tried to make a play. Sealing has it again to Richard Martin, whose shot hit Potvin. Dennis Potvin to center. His wrist shot deflects off Ramsey wide of the net. Sealing in the corner. Round on the boards for Ramsey. Less than 5 minutes to play in the third period. Lead pass to Martin goes all the way down the ice. Lorimer back to touch it for the Islanders, and icing is called against Buffalo. Live from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
At electric power sites in Canada, West German engineers are learning new techniques. They know Canadians have one of the most reasonably priced and reliable electric power services in the world. And like many other countries, they come to study our innovations, like the enormous power output achieved at this plant.
Well done, Canada.
Constant innovation. It's one reason Canadians enjoy one of the most reasonably priced and reliable electric power services in the world.
There you see the time remaining in regulation time, 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Islanders with a 4-2 lead. If it winds up this way, the Islanders would open the Stanley Cup final in Philadelphia on Tuesday night. If Buffalo comes back to win, they'd force a 7th game on Tuesday night. Here's Height, clearing it to Gare. Sabres get it to Derek Smith. He works it into McKechnie. McKechnie centering one. Now Derek Smith at the side of the net had a shot blocked. Lorimer clears to Tonelli. Height held it in for Buffalo. And in there forechecking was McKechnie, who forces a faceoff as he tied up Lorimer in the corner.
Lorimer has to be very excited about that goal he got. You know, if you're going to get a goal and it's your first, why not be a big one? Right now it looms as a potential winner.
He scored at 11:11 of the second period from Bourne and Goring to make it 3-2. Here in the third, Dwayne Sutter has scored from Goring and Gillies at 11:50 to make it 4-2 Islanders. Just over 4 minutes remaining in regulation time. Islanders clear it down the ice. That's Height back to touch it, and as he does, icing called against New York.
Well, there's no waiting for the Sabres. They have to go and make things happen. Al Arbour talking to his players on the bench. I'm sure he's saying, look, let's not get caught out there. Make sure that you have a man, especially in that slot area. The worst thing you want to do is give one up because of a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2 break. A very subdued Buffalo bench. Scotty Bowman could be his last game as a head coach. Players, they're head down, constantly looking at the time clock. That's their worst enemy right now.
4:17 left in regulation time. 4-2 Islanders. Here's Morrow for New York. Firing it on the boards. Bourne lost it. Islanders lose it. McKechnie's shot high off the glass. And Nystrom for New York. Trying to fire it out. Height held it in. Smith leaving it for Gord Lane. Round on the boards for Bourne. He got it to center to get it. Morrow and McKechnie fight for it. In comes Derek Smith. Mirek on top of him. And we'll have a face-off in the Islanders' zone. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
You know your family's getting good nutrition when you buy good, wholesome foods, like fresh Canada Grade A eggs, fresh lettuce, pure creamery butter, processed cheese made with good Canadian cheddar, lean 100% pure ground Canadian beef, prime potatoes, a whole variety of good, wholesome, nutritious foods, and nothing else. That's exactly what McDonald's buys for your family, too. Nothing but goodness, nothing but good taste.
3 minutes, 43 seconds left in the third period. Islanders with a 4-2 lead. And with the victory can move into the Stanley Cup final for the first time in their history. Sabres would need a miraculous comeback now to force a 7th game. Here's Perreault on a face-off against Goring, and the puck is cleared up over the glass. Another face-off coming up in the Islanders' zone.
Well, they become so very important right now, especially for the Sabres. You know, you look at that bench and you look at Danny Gare and Rick Martin unable to score in this series, which has certainly hurt the Sabres' chances. You expect goals from those two guys.
Here is Sealing from the face-off. Over on left wing, the point man Schoenfeld a shot. That's caught by Billy Smith, and he throws it over on the left wing boards to Gillies. Gillies can't get it out. Now they do clear it to center, and Schoenfeld tries to feed it in. Gillies knocks it down. Clark Gillies losing it to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld to Perreault to the side of the net, broken up as the Islander defenseman Lorimer knocked it away from Sealing. Sealing again. Dropping one back. Schoenfeld to Sealing. Rick Sealing out in front, shot it wide. Here's Perreault. Less than 3 minutes to play in regulation time. Van Buxmeer's shot. That hit Gillies. Going to be a penalty here against the Islanders. And it's going to be against Clark Gillies. He didn't have a stick. And Sauvé was heading for the bench on that delayed penalty.
Well, a good effort by Clark Gillies to come out and block that shot. He didn't have a stick in his hand, and you know, when you stop a Van Boxmeer shot, you know it's going to smart. Well, we're at the stage now where it's imperative that the Sabres score in this power play, or they can forget it. There's the penalty against Clark Gillies. He was without the stick. He hauled Van Boxmeer down. There's a tripping call. 2:49 left to go in this hockey game. The Sabres have called a timeout. They'll give their frontliners a chance to have a little rest. Also, Scotty Bowman will go over some strategy, what he wants done at this particular point. It'll be interesting to see if Scotty does pull the goaltender. Jimmy Roberts looking on. Everybody's crowded around Bowman. There's still plenty of time. But they have to score. They have to get one on this power play. Sauvé is over at the bench. Also getting instructions from Bowman. I'm sure that he'll go back in his net for a while anyway. Billy Smith looks on. He really hasn't had the work that Sauvé has had, especially in this period.
2 minutes, 49 seconds left in regulation time, and now Sauvé is on the bench. Yeah. Buffalo with a power play will go with 6 attackers.
Well, now, Dan, it's very important that wherever that puck is, the Sabres have to outnumber the Islanders. If it's in the corner and you have 2 Islanders, the Sabres have to throw 3 men in there. Make sure they come up with that puck.
Playfair, Gare, Derek Smith, Schoenfeld, Perreault, and Dunn all on the ice for Buffalo. Islanders are shorthanded. At last penalty at 17:11 of the third period to Gillies for tripping. And Buffalo with 6 attackers, and from the faceoff they rule the puck was dropped unfairly, so they'll do it over again.
Well, Arbor has 2 centermen out there in Trottier and Goring. In case one of them gets thrown out of the face-off spot, he can always come back with another centerman. Good move.
Derek Smith against Trottier. Here's Perreault flipping it in along the boards. Lane for the Islanders, back to get it. Perreault knocking it down. Over to Dunn. Dunn shoots one, blocked at the defense. Now Dunn to Playfair. Oh, Smith, a big save. It's cleared down the ice at the open net and misses as it hit the side of the net. And Perreault gives it to Playfair. Schoenfeld to Gare. Gare got it across the line, cleared away by Merritt. And Dunn is back for Buffalo. Richie Dunn. Being forechecked by Henning. Sabre goal is empty. They have 6 attackers on this power play. Now Perreault. Number 11 streaks into the Islander zone. Perreault over to Schoenfeld, his backhander right through the crease. Perreault to Dunn. To Gare. Gare shot. Saved by Smith. Rebound. Smith stopped that and held on to it for a faceoff with 1:44 to play.
Well, the Sabres, they're pulling all the plugs out of the bathtub right now. They're putting on tremendous pressure. Billy Smith held his ground there. You talk about congestion in front of the net. And the Sabres had 4 players there trying to get that rebound, trying to get one by Smith. Just unable to do so. They're going down fighting. 1:44 left. They got their big guys in front. Playfair, over 200 pounds. Now watch, once the shot originates, how many players are there? 1, 2, 3. Here comes another one, 4. Just can't get it over Billy Smith.
That was Perreault who has scored both of the Buffalo goals here this evening. 1:44 left in regulation time. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Clark Gillies.
You know, a credit to both teams with the intensity that they have played. Of course, with the Sabres, there's no tomorrow. They had to play hard, but the Islanders just took over in that second period and continue to do so in the third.
Buffalo at one time led 2-0. Islanders have scored 4 in a row. There's Perreault on the faceoff, gets it to the corner. Lorimer cleared it. Now moving in was Richard Martin from the left point. Rounding the boards to Perreault. Lorimer ties him up. Gare comes in to try and get it loose, and it's held there. And now 1:31 left, and another faceoff in the Islander zone. And we have a problem with the glass being dislodged in one of the exit ways down there. They're thumping along those boards and in the corners. 1:31 left in regulation time. Scotty Bowman and Jimmy Roberts, his assistant, look on from the Sabre bench. 42 seconds left in Gillies' penalty. Here's Van Boxmeer's shot blocked at the defense. Now Lindy Ruff. Back to Martin. Into the corner for Ruff. Ruff behind the net. Out in front. Smith the save, and it's cleared away by Goring. No icing because they're shorthanded. And Martin has it for the Sabres. To Perreault. Gilbert Perreault lost it to Bourne. Scores! Bourne stole it from Perreault. And with a minute to go, makes it 5-2 Islanders.
Well, you really can't blame Perreault. Rick Martin gave Perreault the puck when he was standing still. He had a chance to go with it, elected to pass off, and Bourne had a pretty easy time of it. Watch this, Perreault standing still. Now somebody's got to cover up. Everybody skates by, and away goes Bobby Bourne. Danny doesn't make any mistake on that one.
Islander goal.
And that's all she wrote. The Islanders will go against the Flyers. You think that'll be a tough physical series?
A grinding series, as Pat Quinn in his chat with Dave Hodge said.
Scored by number 14, Bob Bourne.
Well, the last time we played was in the semifinals that went to 7 games.
1 minute to go.
That was a short-handed goal with a minute to go into the empty net to make it 5-2. And the Islanders are on the verge of entering the Stanley Cup final for the first time in their history. Here's Morrow shooting it in. Playfair for Buffalo. Fires one down. Going back is Morrow, and as he touches it, icing called against Buffalo with 38 seconds now remaining.
Well, Dan, when you look at the Islanders team, it was their strong hitting along the boards, in the corners, in front of the net. They just out-muscled the Buffalo Sabres for about 10 minutes on in that second period, carried it right into the third period. They had the opportunity, the Sabres. They were up 2-0, and then that goal by Tonelli that seemed to turn things around, and they just kept right on going. And the fans, you hear them.
Well, they've been disappointed the last couple of years, losing to the Leafs a couple of years ago, to the Rangers a year ago. But this is their night. 5-2 Islanders. They're about to enter the Stanley Cup final. Nystrom checked in the play. Sealing now clearing one into the center ice area. There's Mongrain. Over to Rupp. Morrow checked him, and here's Tonelli for New York. To Nystrom. Into Tonelli. Playfair punches him in against the boards. Puck comes loose. Nystrom shoots one. Sliding out was Ramsey to block the shot. And with 9 seconds left, another face-off in the Buffalo zone.
Well, you notice Rupp, even though the game is over, he continues to hit. Mike Ramsey continues to go down and block shots. Let's give the Buffalo Sabres a lot of credit.
And they're a 19 and a 20-year-old who are going to be around for a few more Stanley Cups in the future. That goal by Bourne, his 10th of the playoffs, was unassisted at the 19-minute mark. Bourne also has a couple of assists, so he's had a productive night. 9 seconds left. Islanders lead 5-2. Here's Mike Ramsey, the 19-year-old Sabre, cleared it to center. 3 seconds left. Shot in by Mongrain. The game is over, and the New York Islanders have defeated the Buffalo Sabres 5-2. They win the series 4-2, and it's on to Philadelphia for the Islanders in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Flyers on Tuesday night. And we'll be there for you for both the Hughes Television Network and for Hockey Night in Canada.
Well, they did exactly what they had to do. Worked hard along the boards and in the corners. They have the bigger team. They out-muscled the Sabres. But what an exciting hockey game. The intensity that this game was played, it's a credit to the NHL. There are the teams shaking hands. It's amazing, Dan, that the guys can go out there and knock each other around, and then when it's all over, congratulate each other on a fine effort.
The congratulations go on at center ice. And the New York Islanders, for the first time in their history, are heading for the Stanley Cup Final. It's down now to the Flyers and the Islanders.
As I was saying before, Dan, we played against, when I was still with Philadelphia, against the Islanders. We took the first 3. They bounced back for 3. 7-game series, and I anticipate a long series in that one, too. There's Scotty Bowman.
Congratulating Clark Gillies. He already congratulated Al Arbor.
His last game as a coach.
He says next year he will only be the general manager, and that ends his reign, of course, 4 Stanley Cups in a row with the Montreal Canadiens. A great first year in Buffalo as GM and coach. Next year, he'll be the general manager. Roger Nielsen, he says, will be the coach. Clark Gillies.
What a strong game he had. I think this was his best game of the series. Gary Howard, who continues to...
Wayne Sutter with a big goal.
is the Schick Ultrex, the ultimate razor.
We interrupt this commercial to introduce the new Ultrex Trial Razor. Same pivoting head to keep the twin blades at just the right cutting angle. Same exclusive push-button cleaner to push soap and stubble out from between the blades. But the Ultrex Trial Razor costs only $1.99 or less. So hurry, this offer is for a limited time only.
For close, smooth shaves like never before, Schick Ultrex.
And Ultrex Trial,
the ultimate razor.
It's for people like you, people who do what you want at Canadian Tire. Anything you want to.
For a great selection of gardening supplies at down-to-earth prices, come to Canadian Tire. You'll find the things you need in the spring to help you grow the garden you want in the summer.
It's for people like you, people who do Canadian Tire.
The New York Islanders moved to the Stanley Cup final against the Philadelphia Flyers, and a lot of Islander frustration was relieved with this victory tonight. The players, of course, happy that there will be no more talk, at least for now, that the Islanders could not handle pressure. And you knew that these fans realized that this was probably the game that the Islanders had to win to get to the final. There would have been all sorts of talk about the Islanders giving in to the pressure with a 3-game lead and going to a 7th game in Buffalo. So the Islanders did it tonight. And the 3 stars, we have to begin with the man who's been piling up a lot of points in this playoff round, and that would be Bob Bourne of the New York Islanders, who assisted on the tying and winning goals and then scored the clinching goal, the 5th goal himself, into the empty net. Bourne now has 16 playoff points. Star number 2 is a man who was tied for the playoff scoring lead, and that is Gilbert Perreault of the Buffalo Sabres. 2 more goals tonight. He has 21 points, along with Brian Trottier. The 3rd star, a rookie, Dwayne Sutter, who set up the first Islander goal and scored the 4th one. We'll return with Stanley Cup 80 in just a moment.
Back in 1832, Halifax was a growing seaport, trading lumber and fish in the markets of the Caribbean and Great Britain.
Bigger than me. That's why.
See the built-up Ford vans at your Ford or Mercury dealer.
The New York Islanders move to the Stanley Cup final, and it'll be a dream matchup in several respects. The Islanders were the first-place team in the regular season last year, and we're expected to be that again. Right now, it doesn't really matter very much that they weren't. The Philadelphia Flyers, of course, were the first-place team this year, so it's strength against strength from that standpoint. A Philadelphia-New York series, a matchup in any sport, is always good because of the natural rivalry that exists between the two cities and the geographical location, the proximity of Philadelphia to New York. And you can't help thinking about a guy like Butch Goring, who with the Los Angeles Kings had to be wondering if he'd ever have a shot at the Stanley Cup. Now he does because of a trade to the New York Islanders. Tuesday night will start the Stanley Cup final. New York Islanders versus the Philadelphia Flyers at the Spectrum. We will be there for Hockey Night in Canada and the Hughes Television Network. Good night for now.